All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach very well. Warrant this truth from and salutation out there to the hopeful elect who continue to push this word in our truth, faith, and sincerity. And also shalom to all the men and women in church who sincerely believe upon the words of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua. And on today, just basically getting on preaching the truth, preaching the whole gospel, man. Because a lot of these Israelites, instead of them preaching the whole gospel, they preach the things that's pleasing to the flesh or pleasing to these itching ears, man. You know, that's why people try to go into different books when the Bible clearly says that none shall want her mate. And that's not talking about no virtues, man. That's talking about nothing can be compared unto the prophetic sayings that's written in the scriptures, man. And even it's a penalty for not pushing forth the words of Yahweh Bahashim correctly, man. You know? Because again, if you add or take away from the sayings of Yahweh, you're basically putting words in his mouth, man. You know? Matter of fact, let's get this real quick. This is the book of Revelations 22. And I'm going to jump down to verse 18. Yep. It says, "For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book." So this is basically Yahweh Bahashim telling you, man, I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. Hearing, understanding, and ultimately you taking the banner of being a teacher, man. Or you taking the light of being a teacher or being a prophet. Taking the light of being a shepherd of the nation of Israel, man. And one thing about a shepherd in his sheep, you protect the sheep, man. You lead the sheep the right way. You lead them into safety instead of leading them into danger, man. And by the way, you pushing forth false doctrines, you pushing forth, crazy sayings, things that the Lord didn't say, for the lack of bad words, it's going to end up leading to your death, man. So let's read this again. "For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, the Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book." So if you adding unto the scriptures, man, saying that the MOTB is sleeping with white women, that's you adding to the scriptures, man. You saying that Isaiah, the 34th chapter, is talking about vultures mating, that's you adding unto the scriptures, man. You know, continuing on. "And if any man shall take away from the words of this book of this prophecy," and that's you ignoring it. Because there's certain camps that teach the doctrine of the book of Hebrews, it's not valid. That's you taking away from the scriptures. Read this again. It says, "If any man shall take away from the words of this book of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book." So you're going to actually be in a bad situation, man. You're going to be in the congregation of the dead if you're not written in the book of life. And ultimately, if you add or take away from this word, then you're not written in it. Because ultimately you're putting words in Yahweh Bahashim mouth, man. Let's get something else. It's reiterated in Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, and we're gonna go to verse 2. It says, "Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you." And again, you should not add unto these words, leaning into your own understanding. Now all of a sudden everybody can be saved, when the scriptures say that the Lord only dealing with the nation of Israel. You know? Now you saying y'all Edomites, they're gonna be in the kingdom of heaven and everybody's gonna be on the same level. Now you saying that we already in the kingdom of heaven, but it's not lined up with Isaiah the 2nd chapter. That's you adding unto the words, man. Which shows you that a lot of these so-called Christians, they really don't have the responsibility of handling this book because they don't understand it. Let's continue on though. It says, neither shall ye diminish from it, take away from it, that ye keep the commandments of the Lord Yahweh Shah your power, which I have commanded you. And ultimately, when our brothers came into this truth, we was commanded certain things. For lack of better word, stop eating pork. That's a commandment, and even things like stop committing adultery. Basically separating yourself from this current world and this current society, because Yahweh Shai have called us into something better. The Lord basically called us into this truth to better ourselves. But if you revert back into the worldly and fleshly ways of your mind, you're going to try to mix this pure doctrine with something that's defiled, man. Let's go right here to Proverbs, the 8th chapter, and I'm going to jump down to verse 7. It says, for my mouth shall speak truth. And basically, how is our mouth speaking truth? We're speaking the words of Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai said, I am the life, the way, and the truth. No man can come to the Father but by me. You preaching the true prophecies, World War III, all hell breaking loose, missiles ultimately landing upon this place that is called Babylon the Great, better known as America. That's you preaching the truth, man. It says, in wickedness, it's an abomination to my lips. So you saying that white women is the MOTB? That's an abomination, man. That's a part of God being found in your mouth. Continuing on though, it says, all the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them. Let's go into that word perverse real quick, man. Because if you're not preaching this truth, you're preaching a perverse doctrine. It goes right here. Let's go right here down to the Strong's definition. It says distorted, hence false. So you're speaking a false doctrine, and ultimately that makes you being a false prophet because you're not speaking the truth, man. Let's go into the root. Strong's H61 14. It says primitive root, to not distort, figuratively to pervert, act or declare perverse, to make crooked. You making this pure doctrine into something crooked, man. So let's read this again. It says, all the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them. Which means what? The things that we're speaking is not false. All the things that we say through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, it shall come to pass. Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter and the 33rd verse tell you about that, man. But again, a lot of these people who claim to be Israelites, they ended up changing something pure into something defiled. Let's go right here to Galatians 1 and verse 6. I marvel that ye are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of this, of the grace of Mashiach into another gospel. Yes, because ultimately, if you're not with this truth, if you're not with the way of righteousness and in the way of Yahweh Shai, then you're walking in the ways of death, man. Let's continue on though. It says, which is not another, but there be some that trouble you and would pervert the gospel of a Mashiach. So you speaking of pervert or a perverse doctrine. Let's go ahead and get this word pervert real quick. Let's just see what it says. Strong's G 3344. It says metastrepho.
Strong's G 3344. Metastrepho.
Thayer's
lexicon,
going down
related
to the Strong's
entry.
Definition, it says what? To
Metatrepho.
corrupt. So a part of
Metatrepho.
you going into another doctrine is you corrupting the truth. Read this one more time, Galatians 1 and 7, which is not another. Because it's not like, even though some people add, they add the Book of Mormon. It's certain Jake that believe in the Book of Mormon. There's certain Jake that try to add the Book of Enoch in it. You try to perverse this pure doctrine, because like he's written in Isaiah the 34th chapter in the 16th verse, none shall want her mate. You can't mix this pure doctrine with nothing else, or you will cricket, or you will make it cricket. You will make it perverse, man. You will make it false. It says, which is not another, but there be some that trouble you, that will pervert the gospel of a Mashiach. But though an angel, but though we or an angel from heaven, so an angel can come from the spirit world and talk to you face to face, man. It says, preach any other gospel unto you than which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. So if you talking, somebody taught you that it's no such thing as hell. You're gonna be in the kingdom and you're gonna be blessed and happy forevermore, man. And then somebody else comes and say, if you don't, you going to hell, brother, in eternity. If an angel come out the spirit world and with magical beings, with a glowing spirit, beautiful countenance or whatever, and says, yes, man, he's right. You're going to hell if you don't. Guess what, man? It says you should curse him. Because ultimately, they're doing this to trick your mind or get your mind into the way of the wicked, or into the way of the crooked, into the way of perverse, the way of being defiled. Because hell is not written in the scriptures. Even when you go into that word hell, the only thing it means is the grave, man. Let's go ahead and continue on. It says, and we said before, and so I say now again. That's why it's the importance of staying with this true doctrine. It says, if any man preach any other gospel unto you than that which ye have received, let him be accursed. So if he's not preaching the right thing, then curse him, man. And pray and hope to the Lord he learned about the truth, man. Because there's certain people, for lack of better words, they probably don't believe in certain things. They probably have 98% of the truth, 95, 82% of the truth, or whatever. Ultimately, if they are part of the elect, the Lord is going to build them up to receive the 100% of the truth, man. Let's continue on. It says, for do I persuade men or the Most High? Or do I seek to pleasure men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of a Mashiach, being a man pleaser, lean into their own understanding so somebody else can be comfortable. Real quick, let's get this in the NIV. It says, am I now trying to win the approval of human beings? So if somebody don't believe in the grape doctrine, the scriptures say, do we suppose to seek the approval of human beings? No, man. Or the Most High. Or am I trying to please people? If I was still trying back in the day to please people, I would not be a servant of the Most High, man. So you wouldn't be a servant. You wouldn't be an abide. You wouldn't be an abide of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Going to the word abide, it actually means service. Abide you, man. You wouldn't be no servant of the Most High if you don't teach the 100% truth, man. Let's get this real quick in the book of Acts. This is the book of Acts 2:20. So like in Acts 20, I'm jump down to 27. It says, for I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsels of the Most High. So we're not holding back nothing that the Lord didn't say. The Lord put it in the law about the great doctrine. How to handle that situation if she scream out and if she don't. The Lord talked about the MOTB, and the heart of many shall wax and cold, and what shall you do in that day? Basically, keep your faith until the Lord comes. But certain people don't believe that, man. Certain people don't want to teach the doctrine of Jacob's trouble and all hell break loose, because their congregation love their feel-good doctrine, man. That's why it says in the book of Isaiah, you wanted to hear those smooth things instead of hearing the things that Yahweh Shem Yahushua commanded, man. So yeah, I can just a quick little video. I pray it was edifying. When say call Halayim La Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua Bahashim Rakakodash Shalom DTA and a Baba.